Touchscreens. They're in your pocket, your car, your fridge, and probably on your grandma's new smart toaster. You use them every day, but let's be honest, you have no idea how they actually work. You just stab your greasy fingers at a piece of glass and hope for the best. But when it doesn't work, you press harder, because that's how technology works, right? If it's not responding, just poke it with more aggression until it submits. But don't worry, today we're diving into how touchscreens actually work and how they single-handedly destroyed our attention spans. Because who needs patience when you can scroll through 5 different apps in under 10 seconds? Before touchscreens, we had buttons. You remember those, right? Tiny plastic squares you had to physically press, sometimes so hard it felt like you were trying to punch a hole through your phone. Typing out a text message was basically an exercise in finger endurance. Want to say hello? That's 9 button presses. Want to add a smiley face? Forget it, just stay sad. But buttons had one thing going for them. They worked every single time. No random glitches, no accidental calls to your ex because your thumb slipped, just pure tactile satisfaction. Then touchscreens showed up and said, what if instead of pressing buttons, you just poked the screen? And we all went, yes, take my money. Alright, how does stabbing a piece of glass with your finger make your phone open TikTok? Let's break it down. Your body is basically a squishy bag of electricity. Yeah, I know, you thought you were special, but you're just a walking meat battery. When you touch a capacitive touchscreen, which is what pretty much every modern device uses, you're not just tapping glass, you're disrupting an invisible electric field. That's right, you're literally electrifying your screen. Here's the quick and dirty science. Your screen has a thin layer of conductive material, indium tin oxide, but let's pretend you care. There's an electric grid running through it, like a tiny power line party. When your finger touches the screen, it steals a little bit of that electricity. The screen detects where you touched it, and boom, your phone responds by opening the wrong app. Just kidding. But the real kicker, touchscreens can detect multiple touches at once. That's why you can zoom in on a photo with 2 fingers like you're some kind of tech wizard. Touchscreens don't just make our gadgets look cooler, they completely changed how we interact with technology. With buttons, you had to commit. Every press was a decision. With touchscreens, you can swipe, tap, pinch, zoom, and accidentally call your boss all in one fluid motion. But here's why they're a game changer. A button does one thing. A touchscreen does everything. Your phone screen can be a keyboard, a game controller, a drawing tablet, or even a face if you're bored and want to doodle on selfies. It's like carrying 1,000 gadgets in your pocket. Touchscreens made text sleeker, smarter, and way more addictive. Because now, instead of just texting, you can scroll endlessly through social media, ignoring your friends while pretending you're just checking something real quick. And don't even lie, you've doom scrolled until 3 a.m. knowing full well you had to be up at 7. Of course, touchscreens aren't perfect. In fact, they turn into divas the second a drop of water shows up. Ever tried to use your phone with wet hands? It's like your screen immediately files for a restraining order. You're just trying to send a text and suddenly your phone's acting like you've challenged it to a duel. Random apps start opening, texts are typing themselves, and before you know it, you've accidentally ordered 12 pizzas and sent your boss a crying emoji. But why does water make your touchscreen lose its mind? Well, remember how we said your body is basically a squishy conductor of electricity? Yeah, well, so is water. So when your wet fingers touch the screen, your phone gets confused. It's like, wait, is this a finger? Is this a puddle? Is this an alien invasion? It can't tell the difference. So it just panics and starts registering different touches all over the place. And don't even get me started on rain. One drop hits your screen and suddenly your phone's behaving like it's auditioning for Poltergeist. You're trying to pause a song, but your phone's like, nope, let's crank up the volume and call your ex instead. So yeah, touchscreens are amazing, right up until you spill a drink on them. And then they turn into chaotic little gremlins. Touchscreens are cool, until they're absolutely not. Like sure, they're great on your phone, but do we really need them on everything? Spoiler, no. No, we don't. Take fridges, for example. Why does my refrigerator need Wi-Fi and a touchscreen? I'm just trying to grab some milk, not check my emails. And don't get me started on those smart ovens. Because nothing says high-tech like accidentally setting your lasagna on fire because you swiped the wrong way. And then there's cars. Oh, you want to turn on the AC? Cool, just navigate through 3 different menus while driving 60 miles per hour. Because nothing screams road safety like fiddling with a touchscreen when you should be watching for pedestrians. But the real horror? Public touchscreens. Fast food kiosks, ATMs, gas station pumps. You know, those grimy screens that have been touched by everyone in their questionable hygiene. Enjoy tapping away while wondering, did the last person even wash their hands? Spoiler, they didn't. So where do we go from here? Because let's face it, just tapping glass isn't enough anymore. Tech companies are out here like, what if you don't even need a screen at all? Enter AR and VR. Now, instead of poking at a screen, you can wear a giant headset and wave your arms around like you're trying to land a plane. Sure, it's immersive, but it also makes you look like you're fighting invisible demons in your living room. And don't get me started on walking into walls because you forgot you were in your tiny apartment and not a virtual castle. Then there's smart glasses, because apparently the next logical step is to project your notifications directly onto your eyeballs. Imagine walking down the street while reading text, checking directions, and dodging traffic, all at the same time. What could possibly go wrong? And you know it won't stop there. Soon, we'll have brain-computer interfaces, where you can think about opening an app and it just happens. Sounds cool until your phone starts sending messages based on random intrusive thoughts. Why did I just text my boss I am the Lizard King? But hey, that's the future, and let's be honest, you'll buy whatever the next big thing is, even if it's a smart fork that tracks how fast you're eating. Warning, you're inhaling that pizza at an alarming rate. Thanks, Fort, I didn't need that kind of negativity in my life. Touchscreens are amazing, frustrating, and completely unavoidable. They've changed how we interact with technology. And by changed, I mean made us completely dependent on them. Sure, they have their flaws, smudges, accidental touches, and the occasional phone tantrum when it refuses to register your taps. But can you imagine going back to a world without them? No thanks. So next time your touchscreen doesn't respond, don't get mad. Just remember, you're a squishy bag of electricity, trying to communicate with a piece of glass. And honestly, that's kind of beautiful. Or maybe it's just sad. Either way, you're still going to use it. And speaking of using things, I'm just going to flip this around real quick. It's your turn to tap something. You know, that little subscribe button? Yeah, that one. I mean, you've come this far. You might as well.